Good morning, and this is very interesting. Okay. We are live. So, good morning if you're or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're following us now. We had a very good conversation today and very good comments about what's going on here with our mobility. So, if you're coming in, just wave and I'll wave back. Thank you so much. We got only about a short time, but we'll make it valuable. And I just want to make sure that as we're streaming and this one being live from my car as I wait for something here, it's wonderful to have you here with us. A few things we've been talking about lately is about the mobility and how our bodies need to move in a free flowing state. But the one thing I always tell all my students is go for a walk. Now, whether it's outside or on your treadmill, or find that nice little forest that you see me posting once in a while, it's very important that you keep busy, because what happens is you get outside, you get your fresh air from being outside, you see the blues in the sky, you see the greens in the grass and trees. That's very therapeutic. Your cells actually need that. So that's one thing. If you're not able to go outside and you're working at the desk or you're at home, try your sit to stands. That means you stand from your seated position just 10 times every hour and get some blood pumping. Your sciatica will be taken care of, and you're going to work on your blood sugar if you're doing that after you eat. So I'm always encouraging everyone just to keep moving, to keep mindful that the fact that being stagnant on a daily basis is not good. You don't want to just sit around all day, and you don't want to be stressed about what to do. So just get up. Um, yeah. So even slow movements for that will help out with your scoliosis. And yeah, I have a lot of students who have similar situations. So just do your best. Absolutely. Uh, Hi, Israel. It's wonderful to have you here from a different time. So thank you for being here. All right. So I want to make sure that you understand that movement is medicine. And as I see a lot of times, motion is lotion for the body, because while you're moving and when you're moving, your muscles feel better. Your muscles work with your bone density, and you need to increase that. Now, I have a lot of middle-aged women that I train, and it's very important, especially with the women, as osteoporosis kicks in, and you need to make sure that you need to keep active. Now, here's the thing. If you have bad knees and they've been destroyed from different types of movements, such as burpees and squats, you can still work with them to make them stronger. So when you lean against the wall, you do toe raises, and then later you do tib raises with your heel. As you're doing tib raises, you actually work on the small ligaments and muscles around your knee. So if you have pain in your knees, you need to be moving actually more. And number two, which is actually very important, it's like a number one, is hydrate. Keep your muscles and your joints lubricated, and really work on your carbohydrate intake. Be careful with your intake of sugars that turn into sugars. So, for example, sugar itself is bad, but work on controlling your breads, your pastas, your baked bads or your baked goods. Once in a while is okay, but you have to really be mindful of taking care of your body. And you're going to find that once you start increasing your nutrition, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel better. So we have our training community building up. You might have gotten some links through the DMs, or if you're on the email. list. I send out emails telling you about the new programs we have online. It's a fun community. We have people from all over the world, and every once in a while we do an in-depth training there where you can actually do a workout with me. I do that every once in a while. We did it about last 2-3 weeks, about a month ago. It was a good turnout from people from all over the place. And I just want to make sure that next time we have another live training instead of just Q&A, even though this Q&A is going to be very good in terms of answering any questions you might have. It's good too. So look out for your inbox or emails that gives you a little more detail for the training we have. Lower back pain. All of us go through it sometime or another, including yours truly. Get out. Just get out. Walk around. Move around. Work on your glutes. And work on your mobility. If you sit all day at a desk or chair, one thing you want to do is look into getting in a kneeling chair. Probably have seen them. There's so many different options now where you could pretty much sit on your glutes and most of your weight is on your shins. So the weight distribution is on your legs so that your sciatica, your lower back pain won't really act up. So that's what you could do, is to build up better habits when you sit. Standing desks are great. I think they're good to keep your body active, but I find it's not very pleasant to be standing all the time anyway. So for me, I've tried it, and although it's nice, I'm more about an out and about type of person, so I don't like standing desks. Definitely try looking into investing in a kneeling chair. You'll find that those sometimes work a little bit better. Let's see here. All right, so I'm gonna stop talking for a second. I answered a few questions and comments here. It's a Q&A time. Please type in the chat here or just message me anything that you're challenging your mind and body with these days. What are some challenges you have that you need to improve upon? And hopefully I can answer them. Remember, I'm not a doctor, but I do train lots of them. And if you have some serious injuries, you should definitely check with your physician or therapist first. But as a mobility instructor training for over 50 years, I've pretty much done a lot. So one foot that is much more flexible. Well, walking will help that, and do step-ups. When you do your heel dips, when you're stepping on a ladder or steps are safer. Drop your heels and lift up. Calf raises really do a lot. Not do they only strengthen your calves, but they work the mobility in your ankles. They strengthen your joints there, and also gives you more stability in your stand. Thank you. I will keep going. Thank you. 55. Wow. Yeah, I'm 56, so I'm definitely right there. All those years of kicking, they add up. But friends, when you walk, when you squat, even some of the exercises you do to build up your quad muscles, which are important to strengthen your knees, stick your butt back more. So when you do a squat, don't go up and down unless you really want to work on your quads. Stick your butt further back. One, you'll develop stronger glutes, and number two, there'll be less tension and pressure on your knees. So that's a good way to really work on your glute strength, is doing those type of quad workouts where your butt's back. So squat, not focusing on your quads, but focusing on your glutes really help. If one hip is tighter than the other, should I stretch for longer on that side? I would still do the same amount, because what happens is when you do one position, such as a runner's lunge or a hip stretch, you got to remember, when you're stretching that hip, your hips, your pelvis is still being changed. So even when one leg or one side of your body is the tight side or injured side, I always make sure we do both sides so that your shoulders and your hips are aligned. So just do the same. Now remember, when you do stretches, anywhere from 20 seconds to 30 seconds is good. A static hold is fine, but ballistic is jumping, which is a little extreme. Dynamic stretching, slow movements forward and back with good breathing is what helps you to stay healthier. That was a good question. Thanks for asking that. Yeah, squat jumps and burpees, they're questionable. There's a modified version where you could just get down on your hands and slowly, one at a time, push your feet back, slowly, one at a time, step up and stand up. Much more effective. Absolutely, I agree. Come on, friends. Any questions? Any questions here? I'd like to see what is on your mind and what's going on with your bodies. It's very important that you, first of all, you know what concerns you need to work on and need to know if there's a solution. Surgery is always an option when you absolutely cannot, because there's just no way. But if you walk daily and your timing is good, meaning you do it after you eat for at least 15 minutes, 30 to 45 is really good, especially in a busy schedule. You're going to find that your blood sugar doesn't rise as much. You feel more energetic throughout the day, and your brain is more focused. It's really about making sure that you're very aware that you need to keep moving on a daily basis. Let me see. Great. So one thing you do to strengthen your knees is when you're leaning on a wall, your back's against a good wall, and you just maybe 3 feet away from the wall, your feet, just lift up your toes. And so you're basically getting onto your heels. That works your tibialis muscles and your knees. And you just do that about 10 to 20 times on a daily basis. That strengthens your knees. You think it's strange because you're not leaning forward. You're not putting your weight as like in a lunge. But when your back's against a wall and you lift up your toes about 10 times, just hold it up for about 1 or 2 seconds. It does strengthen your knees. Stretches and strengthens. There's another question here I just saw. Oh, sore shoulders. Listen. All right, this is live. Let me see if it cracks. Listen. I cracked it a minute ago. My shoulders crack about every 5 to 10 minutes. I had an injury from punching a heavy press and also got T-boned many years ago. And it's never the same. So I wake up sore. Being online, typing, keeps my shoulders locked up. But if you see the shoulder workouts I do with the circles and bring your palms back, and you bring your palms back, both arms back, both arms. You just pulse in that sense. It does wake you up. Hand behind your head, pushing your head back, making sure your elbows up. And of course, I'm hanging. I had a lot of students who are robotic oncologists. And if he's here, he might remember this. So after I'm finishing class, from the mirror, I could see him in the back. He keeps wincing as we're finished down with the cool down. And I asked what happened. He had a 3 or 4 hour surgery where he's like this and his shoulder. So one thing you do to help a sore shoulders and to strengthen is to hang from a chin-up bar. So if you could safely get on the bar and hang for about 3 to 5 seconds, rest, and do it 2-3 times. Sometimes you actually feel your joints in your shoulder just like rubber kind of pop back in, and it realigns your shoulders. So try hanging from a bar, a chin-up bar that's safe, for about 3 to 5 seconds. Rest about a second and do it 2 more times. You're going to find your shoulders and your neck, it just kind of realigns. Little tip, very, very effective. Good morning and good afternoon where you're coming from, and good evening. Got a few more minutes here before we go away. And I'll have another post this afternoon sometime, giving you some valuable mobility workouts. And the online digital portal has been open, and we have members signing up for that. So if you'll be getting emails for that as well. We could train online at your own pace. and also jump in a community that is very respectful. Everyone here is pretty much respectful. All right, my only problem is he can't sit on the phone after many. Thank you. I am honored that he's watching the videos. One thing I would say to you is, you probably seen a while ago, I had a video where I sat on a stool, and now I then have a store. I could send some links that I recommend. Getting from standing position to kneeling on a floor, especially less Asian cultures and many other traditional cultures where we sit on the floor to eat or to talk, they're healthy because they get up and down off the floor. If that's a challenge, get a stool or a very low chair, like a footstool or a stool you sit on. Try working with that and getting up off on a chair. That is what, 10 to 12 inches above the floor. And you're going to find doing that strengthens the glutes, strengthens the quads, and as a result, the knees get stronger. Friends, you have to remember that knee pain, joint pain, it's good to stretch them, but when you work on strengthening your muscles, that's when your joints and your bones and they get stronger. They're fortified through resistance training, not just mobility. That's why, even though I'm mobility, it's mobility with muscle. You need them both. You can't really build up bones or joints, but you could strengthen muscles through movement, through resistance training, proper hydration, proper nutrition, good sleep. So I hope that answered your question. Work on squatting on something that's lower, and also the sit to stand. Just from a chair, stand up 5 to 10 times. As you're older, definitely be more careful. Good question. Thank you. Thigh numbness. That could be a nerve issue. Anytime there's a nerve, it could be a pinched nerve. You want to check with your doctor. But you might have piriformis or a tight sciatic nerve. Again, check your nutrition. Make sure you're hydrated well and your inflammation is low because you eat less carbs. And move your glutes. A simple exercise I did a while ago was the thigh. I call it the thigh is a hip flexor. You lift up your knee and then you bring to the side. I'm going to try linking that later today again. That really works your hips. And when you move your knees, it works your glutes. There's also another pose where you turn your foot in and you lean forward. So basically, you got to stretch and strengthen your glutes. All right, let's try that. Try the sit up, stand to sit exercise, and let me know if that works out for you. Medial split, but I haven't made any progress in the medial split. I notice. Well, it could be tight hips. It could be tight inner thighs. Yeah, you have to just unless you're performing in a certain sport or activity, there's really not a need to do a split. But work on your butterfly stretches a lot too. Work on your butterfly stretches. That'll strengthen and loosen your hips. Yeah. Right now, I'm in my stick. So yes, driving. It might be the way you're sitting too. Your posture, your shoulders, your hips. Try to position yourself when you're not driving, of course. You might want to stretch and strengthen your glutes. Ask yourself, how many times do you get up and down from a chair properly, working your glutes? Friends, if you just work your glutes on a daily basis, you're going to get stronger. You're going to feel less pain in that area. You just got to move it. So right glute, yeah, that's definitely a postural situation. I always have, when I drive, is seat cushions. So you want to make sure that lumbar support is there. Either you bump them in the car and also use a good seat cushion so that your hips are properly aligned. Good question. All right, a few more here before I jump off and get things going. Very, very good question. Thank you. Did you really? Did you really? Well, I'm glad you did. The hanging technique I mentioned is so much, yeah, it really works. I do it on a daily basis. And again, the surgeons that I train, they get better. So I'm glad you're an action taker. All right. Good question. Good questions. Hello. Good morning. Hi. Thank you for jumping in. Jumping in. Let me say wave back. I'm looking two angles because I'm streaming also on. If you're on Facebook, thanks for being here. I'm going to fix the camera situation better next time. And those on Instagram Live, you are my big, big community. I appreciate you guys being here today. The situation with online training is interesting because when we were locked down a few years ago, we did a lot of training, and I had the opportunity to train a lot of students from different states and different parts of the world. And so that's the really inspiration of continuing to train with my online products now. Although they're digital uploads, they're pretty much what I do on a daily basis with my one-on-one students and also my group classes. But it's something you can do on your own time. And I know, remember, anywhere from competitive bodybuilders to 65-year-old plus students, everybody needs to be moving. And you could do it on your own pace and on your own way. It's just a reminder that someone is watching you when you have a comment. So I hope you look out for those trainings, someone that you could trust, and you have to really be able to resonate with that person. Everybody has a different style in anything, right? Any type of sport, any type of lesson, whether it's cooking, sports, mobility, you have to make sure that you align your values with the person who's presenting the information. So I offer this to those who are really part of this crew here, and I want to make sure that you benefit from it. It's very, very reasonable too. Lower back pain. Yeah. Sweets you give up is good. Once in a while is okay. So don't kill yourself, because here's the thing when it comes to getting rid of, some habits you should never do. Not to judge you, but you should never smoke. That's it. Just not good for you. Sweets, I would say never do it. It's not a reality. But here's the thing when you have a cheat meal, not a cheat day. If you don't eat those carbs or indulgences that you do at least once a week, you're going to binge 7 days down the road. You will go partly crazy. So have that intentional snack or treat at least once a week, and then modify from there, because that's the only way to truly not go crazy one day. All right, now getting back to lower back pain. There's I think I have to repost it again today. I will repost it today. There's a video I did that's morning stretches. I'm on the mat, but just imagine you're on a bed. The knee drops, also torso twist, where your knees are together. You're lying on your back and your arms out to the side, and your knees tucked in, bent, and you just swing them side to side. And you do the figure 4, where you put your ankle over your knee and you pull it in with your glutes. And then you do the child's pose or the cobra stretch. And then you always finish with the cat-cow. And if you can, do the pigeon and lizard pose on bed too. Those are the things I almost do every day on a daily basis, because I have tight backs, tight back muscles, and things crack in the morning. So yeah, do that in bed. I'll send the link. So I hope you're following me here. Let me just screenshot this. Yeah, I want to make sure that you see that. It's a very, very helpful thing. We were on a retreat a while ago, and I showed this to my pastor, and he did it in his room, and he really enjoyed it too. All right, let's see here. All right, please put in the comments. In about 5 minutes, I got to go. Or questions. And you attendees are lucky. You can just type in. You don't have to talk or have good hair day. You could just jump in, even though your name's here. Nobody knows. Don't trust me. Unless they're following you, they don't know who you are, so don't be afraid to ask any questions. Okay. Chili knees? That's okay. I'm glad you're here on Instagram because more of you guys are Instagram. I have about double the following on Instagram than I do on Facebook. So, no, this is our jam here. Thank you. Hello, Korea. Or good evening there. Yeah, the motherland. I have not been there in a long time. So, thank you for watching from Korea. And it's going to be hot there very soon. So, hope you stay cool. Enjoy your long, fast walk. All right. All right. All right. So if you're just jumping in, we're doing some quick Q&A in terms of mobility and muscle. We are trying our best to keep strong and healthy here. Waving. Any questions or comments or concerns or even a nice hi is fine. Thank you from Indonesia. No, I appreciate you saying that. The tips, well, yeah. No, I thank you. Let me tell you while you're asking or commenting about your sciatica and bulging disc. I had a student, I think I posted it yesterday. No, the email. So I'll send it to you. It was an email. Because when you opt in, if you haven't done so, under the Instagram profile, it says it's a Hoobie. Hoobie is a special link. It's like a link tree. There's a free video I'm sending to you. It's about living pain-free or mobility-free. There's a few there. When you put in your email, you're going to obviously have to go to your all mail or spam folder because a lot of you guys are not confirming. When you confirm, it verifies that you did it and not someone putting in your own email. So that's for your protection. Please go in your confirmation or all mail or junk mail or social mail and click accept confirmation this weekend email. Anyway, in there, I tell you a quick story in reference to what you said about your sciatica. She was in the Hamptons last summer and she had a kind of like a fall or something to that nature. I can't go too much detail in. The whole summer in the Hamptons was not fun. 3 to 6 months later, chiropractic, acupuncturist, doctor, epidural. Slow movements with me helped her gain her confidence. I mean, she couldn't even drive. It's a good thing she had drivers for her. She can do anything. And physically and mentally, if you've ever had that pain, you can't do a lot of things. And then it affects your bowels. And anyway, the point I'm getting at is when you have L5-S1 or a SI joint, bulging discs, you want to be careful, but there are certain exercises you should do and certain exercises you definitely, or a lot of exercises you shouldn't do. But if you watch the last few videos, if you lie on your back and you move your knees in a certain way without torso flexion, in other words, not your head, but your legs are moving, you build up your pelvic floor and you work those joints in your lower back. So work on those things and you'll feel a lot better. Our flexibility and important for the body. I see them in that. Our flexibility and strength important for the body. Yes, because you see them in the gym. One thing, I think you're asking. Yeah, you could. When it comes to working out, there's split. Some people say 3 days is week, 3 times a week is good. Some people say different body parts. Some do upper and lower. There's push pull. The thing is, do what works for you and do everything in moderation. You never want to push it. But before you even do resistance training, body weight, bench press, you could do a little bit of flexibility or mobility movements rather, but don't overdo it because actually weaken your strength training. All right. Just move around every day slightly. Insulin resistance, right? Work your eating, walk after you eat. It's one of the best ways to control your rise with that. Thank you for saying so. Thank you. Thank you very much. And you're welcome. Thank you. All right, good question. I think I'll finish with this as I got to go. Is it okay to do a full body workout 3 days a week or every day? Full body workout, if it's body weight, you can do every day. I'll finish the story about my incarcerated students another day when I have time. But when you do body weight, your body finds. I know people who do hundreds of push-ups, hundreds of leg lifts, like every day, and they look great. They're very toned, very fit, and they're very strong. So the calisthenics and resistance training, dumbbells, barbell, that's another conversation. But I believe, and what I've seen with my students, not just what I do, 3 days a week, pick a certain part that you want to. Obviously, you do legs every day, you're gonna have a hard time, supporting when you do an overhead press. If you're doing body weight, every day's fine. If you're doing resistance or barbells or dumbbells, you should do it 3-day split so you could rest better. I'll even finish with this. Women recycle and regenerate muscle faster than men. So in theory, every 12 hours, a woman could do the same body part. Of course, that's all relative to the person. But for men, you need to spread it out. We don't heal as fast for some reason. Stiff neck, that means you got to work your shoulders and posture. Again, do the chin-up bar hold. That will help. No, thank you. Thank you for saying so. No, thank you for saying so. Thank you. Thank you. Wave, wave, wave. All right, I got another minute. I said that a minute ago. But I really appreciate you guys being here this morning or this evening. Hello, doctor. All right, any last comments? Please look at the link under my bio. I'm pretty sure it's on Facebook, but definitely on Instagram. You're going to get a free video. And you know how it works. You get this free video. You don't have to join, but at least you'll be part of my email list. So when there's a blackout or something happening with social media, you'll always be connected with me. And I want to give value. This is my time. This was nothing on anyone's part in terms of commitment. We just showed up. And it's when I have the time, I will be here. But through the email, I could definitely converse with you more every evening after I'm done teaching online or in person. I do it also online. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.